PowerPoint presentation on our shipping container village for 2011 to 2012 Architecture Club. This is our slide selection. We will view the location first.
Alright, so first off, our location is in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. As you know, not too long ago in 2010, there was a massive earthquake that hit Port-au-Prince. It was a 7.0 magnitude on the Richter scale. This part of the country was devastated and left many people homeless. As a result of this devastation, it sent the whole entire city into poverty. It was an estimated 316,000 people that were killed and 1 million people injured in this incident. And the United States is helping out with the relief programs, and they're sending care packages and water, all that stuff.
Alright. We will view the movie that we made.
Maybe I hit it. Where'd it go?
Here.
Oh.
1 second.
Here, let me know.
Okay.
It's not their fault. It's off. Is there supposed to be sound? Ooh,
There is no sound.
Okay, because we turned it off for the girls' side. Oh.
Sorry, there's no sound. We had Stairway to Heaven.
And then
As you can see, people are living in the camps.
And at ports, there are literally mile-high places, shipping containers, not actual mile, just hypothetical.
The relief programs
For the
all the water.
That's key right there. Water is the key because the water that they have now is polluted by all the waste that is seeped out through the destruction of earthquake.
Alright.
Okay.
Next is the support.
The United States military has contributed a lot to the relief program. 2,000 U.S. Marines were stationed to help, and because of the American Red Cross, 36,720 people received homes. 364,300 people received fresh water. 2.4 million people received health care. 436,000 people learned how to prepare for disasters, and a total of 3.2 million people were reached. So that's a lot.
Next is our goal. Alright, so our problem is that, well, there is a devastating earthquake, and we need to give these people a home and fresh water and nurturing. So, our goal is to help the people of Haiti start to thrive again and soon start living regularly again and normally. And we need to give these people shelter. We need to give them food and nutrients and yeah.
Everything we just
And then goes back to the house. Alright, next is our construction. Alright. For our construction, since we have 16 15 shipping containers we were allowed to use. These all would be taken in by helicopter and towed on a large rope. First of all, the cost. The cost is about $19,200 just for the shipping containers themselves, which is a pretty good amount, which is not that, isn't really that big of an amount of money, considering all of the, considering other houses that might cost.
And they're also portable. So
Portable,
if in dire emergency, they can be transported by barge, helicopter, even by tractor trailer if it's necessary.
And these houses will be powered by a large electric generator. And in our model here, well, actually right here is a water mill. Our thought on this is that we are not going to use wind power or windmills. We are going to use hydropower, because if you think about it, windmills are very expensive. Even though they do power, they are expensive. When a water mill keeps on going,
and
no matter what, the water's always flowing. It might not be windy a certain day, so.
And if the windmill, anything breaks in the windmill, you
Costs a lot to repair it.
basically have to call in a professional. With a windmill, with a water mill, it's not that hard. If the wheel breaks, it's easy to get to, because it's just in the water. I'm like, that's 200 feet up in the air, and people who are living around it may not want to go up there. They may not trust it.
Alright, next is our interior and exterior. Right here we incorporated the house, and the main facility right over there is the main facility, and around it are the houses.
Close up of the main facility right here. Solar panels and a room right here.
Alright, as
It
you can
has
see,
solar panels.
Yep, has solar panels for solar energy. Has
Rooftop garden right
rooftop
here.
garden, yep.
It has, this is where the doctor's office will be, so they don't have to drive or go like 25, 30 miles to
Near
somewhere.
doctor.
And it's right here.
Also in there, we have a large food court right here. Large food court. All of this right here. They have refrigerators to store food. There are cabinets, and we have stoves and sinks, so it's nice and sanitary. And here's our infirmary. Infirmary right here. So if somebody's sick, injured, anything, we can just bring them right on in here. Right here for bathrooms, they're public bathrooms, because it's probably much cheaper.
And the single homes are too small to have to have plumbing and bathrooms, and that would be more expensive for each house than it would be just to rig up one place. Because then you have to transfer your materials from one place to another place. Even though it's a short distance, it still would cost a little bit more. And also for the cafeteria / kitchen, we chose a long table, kind of like you would have at your middle school or high school cafeteria, where you would walk by and you would get your food there. So then we don't have to have people there. So we don't have to have any more costs for,
And
big waiters or.
Yep, and right here, sorry, I forgot to incorporate this, but these are the dimensions for the shipping containers. 9 feet tall, 8 feet wide, and 40 feet long. Sorry. So if you think about it, it's not that big, but it's something. Right here for the interior of the house, we have the children's beds, and it might look like one twin bed, but they're bunk beds, so you can fit 4 kids on that end. Right here you have the little kitchenette and the dining table. So for here you can go there for large meals, say if you want to get together with relatives that might live in the village.
Or this could be for lunch and dinner, and that could be for breakfast. Or if it's in the winter or the rainy season where it's heavy downpours, you don't wanna walk and get drenched and to go eat and then walk all the way back. And you wouldn't walk, you'd run, so then you get a cramp, and that would be discomfort.
Right there is the like master bed, as much as master as it can get. All right.
This is
Yeah. All right.
sorry about that one.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Alright, all we have left is the works cited. So
Right here, I'm just going to maybe explain the model a little bit more. So as David said, we have the solar panels, and in here, we have right here. There's a nice window, so in there, that's a great storage place. So you can keep supplies in there, medical supplies. You can keep food supplies. So that's a perfect place to keep everything from the rescue teams to just food that, like fish that they caught in the river here, flows downstream, and then the water mill is right down here. And that
so it
provides
has more
electricity.
power.
Yeah, so it has more power.
Oh.
Because if it comes here,
there's not
if it's
much-
right here, then it won't be as strong as it would be downstream, because this is basically just a little tributary, if you want to call it, off to the side of it, so the river won't be over powerful to the villages around it, but it won't be too small or weak, but to not sustain necessary like food, maybe water if it's fresh water. And that's the close up on the main facility that's right here. That's 5 shipping containers, and all around it will be the individual homes. Now I placed the homes in kind of not really straight because of the earthquake, the geological features will be altered a little bit, and it would be expensive
to dig up
the dirt and make it flat. And so that's why we built it by a river, because then we could do what the ancient Egyptians did. When they leveled the land, they dug trenches, filled them up with water, and that's how they leveled the land. That's what we would do. It's not that expensive to get a backhoe, and for 20 hours or more.
Did you learn that in your room this
Yes,
time?
they did. Isn't that nice? I
Their
like that.
project, the Egyptian project.
Your sources.
Good job, guys.
Yep. And
Any questions?
any questions from the judges?
Or the jury, if you want to call it.
I gotta say, boys, that was very thorough and very well thought out. You thought of a lot of different things.
Well, you need to think of a lot of different things to keep these people alive, basically.
Yeah.
This is possible. This is possible.
It's actually happening, right? Not this, but they are actually giving homes to people. When you saw the picture in our movie that we made, there was the one with the helicopter. That was actually from Haiti. That was an actual Port-au-Prince. No, I don't know if it's Port-au-Prince, but it was actually a photo from Haiti.
Any questions? Well,
Where's the water wheel
The
going
water
to go?
wheel will be
It
somewhere
provides electricity,
down here.
yeah.
It provides electricity for the houses in the main facility. We didn't show it because we didn't have enough space. But this would be like kind of like the little pond or tributary that flows off of it.
and here is a source of fish.
Fish, could be fresh water.
Plants down here, anything. So you can really get a source of food from there, and
Fertile land. If you
Yep,
there could
fertile
be
land.
fertile. There's probably fertile land around the river, just like
nice soft
Wow.
soil. You can put plants there, anything you need. Question?
What happens if it floods?
You heard us, didn't you?
I'm just ask- I asked the same question last time
Is
to the
it
girls,
flat?
so what are you
Okay.
guys gonna say?
Well, what we planned was it's not the river isn't the water isn't it's dug in, it's man-made, so it's dug in.
And
So
also,
it's a little slope.
also if there's a dire emergency, huge rainfall, a large amount.
We also have rain catchers on top.
A monsoon sort of thing. Even though it's really deep, as David said earlier, we can bring the helicopter and transport it out here, anywhere you need to.
Or the barge, or if it's by the water, then there could be a barge there could have a barge, because
Yep.
that's what these are made for, basically. They're made for being on barges, to transport materials.
Any more questions?
Rain catchers on top, just throwing that one out.
Can you guys explain your process a little bit, how you started in the very beginning?
Alright.
Okay.
With the-
Well, we want to pick a location that's really, really been devastated, but that's been really struck by. It's devastated. It's gonna be a really long time before proper shelter or proper necessities are gonna take place. And we had a couple ideas. We were gonna do somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah, Middle East, since there's the war going on.
The war, but
civilians are being
it seems that they're going on well, because the only thing on the Middle East they hear is the war, yeah. So there probably is hunger and starvation and probably loss of shelter there because of the war, but it's not probably not as major as this, as because these people, the war in the Middle East has been going on, so they know how to cooperate and live with it. But this happened a couple of years ago, and they still probably don't know how to deal with it. And some people haven't even been reached yet. They're still working for the American Red Cross and the U.S. military is still working its way to get there. And it could be a couple more years before everybody has been reached.
Yep. And otherwise, for our process, we worked on our board, and as you see, we have our 3D views, we have our doors, we have our main facility.
By Revit.
Yep, done by Revit. And actually, it's a really unique program, and you can pretty much build anything on there.
It was very fun to do this project.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Caffrey and
And Mrs.
Saya.
Sire for coming every Tuesday and Thursday.
Mhm.
And for tolerating me.
Us.
Us, I should say.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does the cafeteria, you called it a food court or cafeteria?
Style.
Okay.
There's not the grannies with the hairnets. No.
Okay. All right. I get you. Yes. Okay. Does the food court serve any other purpose aside from being a food court?
Oh, yes,
Or could it?
yes.
They can seek shelter and refuge in there. It can also
It's also an auditorium.
Ah.
So if they have
Public
a
speaking?
public speaking, village meeting, they can just take the tables away, put them in the storage, and right in the top of the main facility, right where the solar panels are, and they can just twist. And there are chairs in here too for the main facility. They can just put more chairs in there, face them towards the front of the room, and they have a speaker. There you go. You have yourself perfect speech.
It is also a pretty big room. So if there is the rainy season or the winter coming, they can line the outside of the walls, not like the inside, but the around the walls with supplies, rations, food supplies, and so they can store it in the storage room, and they can also store it in the cafeteria, because some people have because in the houses they have the small kitchen area. So some people, if they have enough money and they've basically upgraded to a better area, like kitchen area, then they can spend eating more in the kitchen area, and then the cafeteria.
Okay.